Hey guys, so we're doing Live Red Day 13. I'm starting on page 46, about midway down the page where we have an octopus. So it says, my mom comes out of the bathroom a few minutes later. She's kind of frazzled, still fixing her hair and stuff, but it's clear she's already switched over to work mode mom. I like getting to sneak peeks at her waitressing. The way she can fly out of the kitchen carrying multiple plates of steaming pasta. The way she pushes buttons on the cash register like a boss. The way she writes down customers' orders in this cool, magical code and can do it without even looking away from the customer. It's like waitressing is the one time when the competent mom I remember comes back and says hello. She hands me the diaper bag. At least there was an extra uniform shirt in there. You can't see the spot on my pants, right? Her black pants look the same as ever. I shake my head. Good. She turns to Connor. Okay, what other prep work do I need to get done before the dinner rush? I was able to mix up 2 of the salad dressings, but I didn't have time to get to the ranch yet, Connor says as they push past the doors in the kitchen. I look over at the table where Matt Hubbard's family always sits on their Saturday night dinners. Matt and his mom and his dad and his little sister, just like in a commercial. His sister is a few grades younger than us. She has some fancy name like Emmeline or Eleanor, or maybe it's just Emily, but she looks fancy and smart because she was always winning things, just like Matt in elementary school. The spelling bee, the art contest for Earth Day, all that stuff. I bet they make up new contests just so the Hubbards can win them. Last week in homeroom, when Mr. Bonetoff made this whole big deal about how Matt had done such an amazing job for his trumpet solo in the jazz band concert, about how it was magnificent and amazing. Can't even imagine having a teacher say things like that about me. But even though I don't do after-school activities like he does, and even though I'm grimy, he still talked to me this morning, and he still gave me Swedish fish, even though I didn't have my debate packet like everyone else. And he has really nice brown eyes. Zoe, what are you still doing here? My mom burst back through the kitchen doors. Bryce and Aurora will be getting off the bus any second. I look at the clock on the wall. Shoot. I scoot out of the seat, swing Hector onto my hip, and sling his diaper bag onto my opposite shoulder on the top of my backpack. I'm going. The door jingles on my way out, and I'm soon huffing it across the parking lot in along Route 3. Up ahead on the opposite side of the street, I can see the people waiting for their kids. They're at the corner where Pratt Street comes in, where the bus is about to stop, where I should be standing right now. I pick up the pace, and Hector giggles as if a horseback ride from a horse that's hyperventilating is the best kind ever. The bus comes around the corner and soon slows down to the stop. The cars that usually zip down this stretch of road come to a halt as the bus switches to its flashing red lights. I watch as Bryce and Aurora emerge from the bus door in the midst of the other kids, just like they always do, on the opposite side of the street from me. The school bus's flashing lights have stopped. Its stop sign is tucked back in, and traffic starts to move again. The other kids are heading off with their grown-ups down Pratt Street towards the houses in the neighborhood, but Bryce and Aurora are standing there looking around. I'm almost right there, waiting for them. I'm always right there, waiting for them. Always. Maybe we don't have dinner at a table every night. Maybe they have to get free lunch tickets and deal with all the same shame I have to deal with when I was the first in school. But at the end of the day, I'm always there to pick up. Bryce, Aurora, I call as I run. I'm right here. But as soon as the words leave my mouth, I regret it. Because Aurora yells, Zoe, and starts running towards me directly across the street. As though all the cars around her are just bubbles that would pop if they touch her. A car slams on its brakes and lays on the horn. In the closest lane, another car skids to a stop, and the car behind it narrowly misses rear-ending it. The blare of the horn is so loud that Aurora comes to an abrupt stop halfway across the road and covers her ears. But when you're at bumper level in a sea of honking, it doesn't matter how much you cover your ears. Those bubbles are still way louder than they should be. Aurora bursts into tears. On the far side of the street, Bryce is screaming and stamping his feet. He's not even looking at Aurora anymore. It's like he's gone rabid. One of the drivers rolls down his window and yells, What do kids think they're doing? He starts to roll his window back up, but pauses when he looks at me. And for God's sake, put a coat on that baby. I glanced down to see Hector just in his pajamas. Hector, of course, has started crying too, and it might just be because he's about to lose all of his fingers to frostbite. Where's my layer of protective octopus slime? Where are my 8 tentacles to pull all 3 kids close to me and wrap them up so they can cry their eyes out? Aurora, you've got to get out of the street, I yell. But she just keeps crying. Aurora, I yell. A new car starts beeping its horn. I grit my teeth, heft Hector and neglected higher onto my hip. Hector the neglected, higher onto my hip and walk into the middle of the road. But Aurora won't let me take her by the hand. Up, she says through her sobs. Her arms raise up to me. Up. So I heave her up onto my opposite hip along with the diaper bag and, with all of those drivers watching impatiently, stagger across the rest of the road to where Bryce is still screaming and jumping about like his feet are on fire. I quickly set Aurora and her diaper bag down on a snowbank. Don't you dare move, I say to her. Not an inch. My voice is shaking. I turn back to rabid Bryce, flailing around on the shoulder of the road. I grab a rock off the ground with my Hector-free hand and close my fist around it. Then I drop to my knees, right next to Bryce, and wrap him up in my arm. Bryce, I have a rock for you that I need you to hold. Ha! He keeps screaming. Ha! Ah! 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 He keeps trying to squirrel out from under my arm, but I squeeze tighter. Bryce, I say again, I have a rock for you that I need you to hold. I glance at Aurora, and she's thankfully still sitting next to the diaper bag. Bryce keeps squirming and keeps screaming, but I'm weaker now than it was. It's weaker now than it was. Bryce, I have a rock for you, and I need you to hold. Bryce thinks against me. I open my hand so he can see the rock. He takes it in his right hand. When things went south between my mom and Nate at the boat launch that day, I swear giving Bryce one rock after another was the only way I kept him with me. Sometimes you just need something solid that fits entirely in your hand. I quickly grab another rock off the ground. I have another rock that I need you to hold, Bryce. As he takes it in his other hand, the last bit of frenzy seems to leave him. He crawls up the black-tinged snowdrift to where Aurora is perched, curls up with his head in her little lap, and sobs. I reposition Hector to be inside my jacket, zip it partially around him, and sit down next to Aurora and Bryce. I wrap the two of them up as best I can and give them kisses and more kisses. Some people can do their homework. Some people get to have crushes on boys. Some people have other things they've got to do. That is one of my favorite quotes. So maybe take a second and think about, what does she mean when she says, some people can do their homework. Some people get to have crushes on boys. Some people have other things they've got to do. I'll give you just a second to think. Chapter 7. Basically what she means is she's got to babysit for her brother and sister. Her mom's got to work like it's her or nothing. They clearly are poor. They do not have money for childcare. I don't think Lenny is going to watch them. So instead of having time to do her homework or to have time to even think about having a crush on a boy, she's got to help her mom watch her siblings. So, Chapter 7. I look up when a car pulls up next to us. Just please don't be the get that baby a coat guy. Can DCF take kids away from their big sister? It's not him. But as soon as I see the driver's face, I realize it's not much better. Because when you've just been humiliated and exposed as a totally incompetent person in front of a whole bunch of people, the next logical thing is to have your constantly nagging you about homework social studies teacher pull up next to you. Miss Rochambeau rolls down her window. Zoe, I saw what just happened. Are you okay? Bryce still has his face buried against my side, his chest heaving as I rub his back. Yeah, we're fine. She eyes me. Are you sure? I look down as Bryce wipes his nose in my jeans. Yeah, I was just hoping I could talk to you after class today, but you left before I had a chance, she says. Did you really leave your packet at home? Is she kidding? She thinks I want to talk about homework right now? I manage to nod. Aurora looks up. Is she your teacher? She asks between sniffles. Does she give you graham crackers and apple juice? Miss Rochambeau doesn't take her eyes off me. Is your packet really completed? I told you it was. I was telling the truth. Bring it tomorrow. You can give your opening statement and then participate in the Q&A. I freeze. Maybe I should have lied and said I hadn't done it. At least I can always forget it a second time. Miss Rochambeau leans closer. I want you to know that you remind me of me when I was your age. I stare at her fancy turtleneck sweater and big jangly earrings. No way did she start out like me. And back then, there was one thing I needed more than anything else, she says. I told you, we're fine, I say. Her eyes don't waver. I needed to learn how to get people to take me seriously. I stare at her. Every single day, there's more and more proof that people will treat me how they treat me. And I don't have a shred to say in it. And I had to start with myself, she says. Bring in that packet and don't sell yourself short. She pulls into traffic before I can say anything in response. If I do bring in my packet, it sure won't be because she told me to. Okay, guys, we're going to continue part 2 in just a second so that the video uploads easier. These things take hours.